Alright, as some of you may know, I've been trying to settle on a new name for my channel because The Consumer was not being searchable. Anytime you try to search The Consumer, it corrects it to The Space Consumer, and you get a bunch of other stuff. And on top of that, there's a bunch of other The Consumers out there, so it just wasn't a very good name. So I created a new name, Bastard. And it's like based bastard or based retard, whichever one you want. Bastard. Bastard is the new channel name. I am now Bastard, and this Bastard has a non-based build. I tried to make a big ol' fat berserker that uses Rage, Warbringer, and some Rage Vortex. And I wanted it to be kind of tanky. I wanted this to be a really smooth mapper. I love Rage Vortex. It's one of my favorite skills, and I like Cyclone. So you Rage Vortex, and then you Cyclone into it. And when your Rage Vortex goes away, you pop a Cyclone again. But this build is only really fun if you could take a hit or two. So I was trying to make it tanky. And PoE has a real problem with spell damage and spell suppression. If you don't have spell suppression, you can't be tanky unless you have 90 to all res. So my character has 85 to all res, and I still get one shot constantly by spells. My life is low, but it's not that low. It's not low enough to where 85... If we go back to 3 years ago in Path of Exile and you had 85 all resistances, you were a god and a chad amongst men. But now, 85 all-res is meh. 85 all-res is the new 75 all-res. And in order to get your elemental damage up to scuff, you gotta go all the way to 90. So let me show you what I did. I grabbed the Cleansing Water Jewels right here. Both of those in conjunction with Melding the Flesh. I did this before on my Chieftain to great effect. I'm trying to get now on a Berserker, and I'm just doing your basic Cluster Jewel setup. With axes, I have this Anointed, Rage, you get 95 Rage, you Cyclone around, and you throw Rage Vortexes. The build is okay, the damage is just average, and for just average damage, you're going to want survivability. You want that trade-off. If you're not going to be doing a lot of damage, you want a trade-off in survivability. But I don't quite get that trade-off. I don't have good damage, I don't have good survivability. I have okay damage and okay survivability. Like right there, I don't even know what just killed. I didn't even see it. I was talking, I have no clue what just killed me, but I just die over and over and over again. And I'm not even using the take 10% more damage node. And I am just flopping over dead. Now, my armor is not great. It's at about 20,000, which basically means 0, because you don't really have armor for big hits until you get, 60 to 100,000. So 16,000 even with flasks. Let's pop all the flasks. Get to 84% with max flask, 85%. That's not enough. I had the helmet where fire resistance, armor is increased by overcapped fire resistance, and it was making me tankier for armor, but I was still dying from elemental damage. And I have life gain on hit with Cyclone, so the idea is to throw those Rage Vortexes, and since I don't have any life regeneration, to use Cyclone to get it back. And if you play a little passively, you throw your Rage Vortexes and then you run away like a coward, it works okay. It works okay. I am not satisfied with the build though. The damage isn't good enough for the survivability, so I don't recommend anyone continue to watch this nonsense, because the build is not good. It does not meet my expectations, and my expectations are already rock bottom for a build, and it doesn't even meet my rock bottom expectations. So that was a Maven invitation. So let's just do this boss right here as a perfect example. Hits lightning damage, hits hard AF. Yeah, this should work. And he's just gonna wreck me. He is going to beat... Oh, man. Oh, well. No Maven. He's gonna beat my ass over and over and over again. At least he did last time I fought him. Now I have a couple things I can do. Instead of using these gloves, I can switch to the other gloves, and I can also put that other helmet on to pump up my armor, and then maybe use Grace, and it gets a little better with Grace, mostly because you're dodging. But I don't like the Grace dodge until you die playstyle, and that would be what I would be playing, is dodge until you die. So that what that means is you seem tanky until you take a hit, and then you just melt. And that would be what this build does. But one cool thing is this build is extremely fun to play, at least for me. You kind of cyclone through people, and you can do a little bit of hurting. You can kind of group them up into a big pack, and then you throw your Rage Vortex into that pack, and it kind of kills them. Or you can just go ham with the Rage Vortex. But I tried to throw 2 Rage Vortexes per scream. So you scream, and you throw 1 Rage Vortex, and you try to time it. Throw a second Rage Vortex right at halfway mark of the Intimidating Cry. So you do the Intimidating Cry, and then you throw Rage Vortexes 2 times but per Intimidating Cry. And that's kind of how I like to do it. So Intimidating Cry, Rage Vortex, spin, 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 Rage Vortex. And the playstyle is enjoyable. It really is, and I think if I wanted to, I could modify this build to make it playable, but I don't think a Berserker is the right class. I went with Berserker because it was extremely fast, and you get that attack speed, which is real nice. And I was going to do the 40% more damage, but take 10% more damage, but I was already not tanky enough. And if you don't care about dying, you put the 40% more damage on, you can get pretty stoked. You can get pretty yoked. But for some reason, this kind of a build, dying just isn't very satisfying to me. Mostly because most of my deaths come from unsatisfying means. Because I can't regenerate life because of those gloves. A lot of times I'll just like run out of life and die. And it's not satisfying. It's not enjoyable. I don't enjoy it, but I do enjoy the playstyle. Alright, so watch me get just clobbered by this boss after we wait 45 minutes here. I wish I could teleport out and sell these. I'm running real low on low-end currency because of all the variety of builds I've been building. Bum, 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 bum. I threw a Berserk on and hit him with that Rage Vortex, and it didn't even kill him with a single Rage Vortex with Berserk. See, he should be dying from a single Rage Vortex with Berserk. One of the problems with Berserk, you cast it, and then, like, you know, the timing could be a little bit off. But you do gain Rage really quickly. So I cast Berserk, and I'm already back up to 95, so as soon as he's ready, I cast Berserk again, throw the thing, Vol Haste. And I feel like life gain on hit just ain't working. I got pretty good life gain on hit, and I'm just not gaining a lot of life. My Cyclone attack speed should be very fast. Let's see, Cyclone. Attack speed, 11.9 tacks per second at 40 life. You know, it's like 400 plus life a second. As you saw, that disappointing death. It's just like, I got honestly throw a health potion on. But I've moved so far past using health potions in this game. I will never use a health potion again. Now that the flask can auto-pop and you can't auto-pop a health potion, health potions just don't exist for me in this game unless I'm playing like Ruthless or something like that. Or Hardcore. But health potions don't exist. I probably ought to switch my rage location. See, it's just super unsatisfying because of the gloves. So I'm gonna mid-battle switch my gloves out, right? These gloves are a problem. They ruin the build for me. It does not work with those gloves. They're great gloves, but I need to do something different in order to get my survivability up with these gloves. A different way to gain life. But as is, I do not like those gloves. So let's grab, sure, these ones. Let's just grab any other gloves. And let's just, they're the right color. They work. Let's put these gloves on. And then for here, we're gonna replace life gain on hit with rage support. Rage support. So now I'm gonna be generating rage from my cyclone. I probably want rage here too. So let's drop this 50 life right there. And let's pop in, gain 1 rage. Just so we're gaining a little bit more rage for the machine, because now I have to generate rage, which has its own negatives. I generate a little bit from my war crying. So now I have to generate the rage and then throw the rage vortex, which I can generate pretty good, but I gotta be a lot more judicious with throwing out my rage vortexes. I can't just, you know, toss out rage vortexes like candy anymore. And right now I'm not generating rage. So the build is scuffed and it doesn't work great. I'm a lot more survivable now. I'm not gonna get any of the most disappointing deaths, which are the deaths where you watch your life just slowly drain away and there's nothing you can do about it because health potions no longer exist in this game. Because my left hand is occupado. I only need one hand to play this game. But now I'm not going to be using Berserk ever because it's just too much of a cost to lose all my rage on a Berserk. So I can replace that with a movement skill at least. So let's run a map with the new gloves. After I wait 45 minutes before I can teleport out. I really do think they need to speed that up. It's not like deliberately slowing down the game like they did with Diablo 4 when they reduced the portal cooldown time. Which the only reason they would do that is to keep people playing the game more. It's not like people were portaling to escape battles. They were just portaling to go to town, which you have to do a million times. Let's do an underground river. Less accuracy. This one looks... Let's make it a little juicier. Make it a little bit juicier. Let's make it a little bit juicier, but also doable. And now I'm in a bit of a pickle with a spicy pickle. I really like this for the more attack speed, right? I don't have a lot of crit, and I don't want to invest in crit damage, so I'm only using crit to pump up my blitz. And then this right here gives me 50% more attack damage if I've sacrificed rage recently, which is a lot of damage. And my cooldown on this is 6.15 seconds. So I could bust out of this and do triple rage effect right now, which is a lot of attack speed and a lot of damage. You know what? I am actually going to do that. I am going to go triple rage. Never mind. I don't have enough regrets. Obviously, I've been regretting this build way too much, and I probably ought to just stop trying. But I've been trying to roll this guy into something useful, and it has not happened yet. So I wasted all my essence, all my fossils, trying to make a cool +1 to power charge weapon for a Slayer project I'm kind of working on, and that has not gone well. So let's grab us a couple scarabs. What do we got? Tormented spirits? Sure. Let's do 4 tormented spirits. Just imagine that my rage effect is tripled. That's what we can do. Now I could switch it to a jug, and I'll probably be plenty tanky on a jug. But I won't have the damage, which might make it just as satisfying. I forgot to put on a movement skill. Smite also is pretty cool with this. Instead of Cyclone, use Smite. But I like Cyclone because you use these like non-important mobs you can just kind of Cyclone through and not really worry about. But then when you get a big boy like that, you can throw your Rage Vortex. I hope it doesn't hit a wall. And it feels good. The build feels good. Just doesn't play that good. It also, I'm coming off of Cock Reap, and Cock Reap was very powerful, and this is just mid. So it's kind of juxtaposing that a little bit. Which is one reason, you know, running extremely powerful builds kind of sucks. Because you get spoiled. You do. You do get spoiled. Once you're at maximum damage, you kind of just stop playing the game. You get damaged to the point where everything dies in a blink of an eye, and then you got nothing else to do. There's no more progression. There's nothing more you can do for your build. And then the season's over. And I don't want the season to be over. This has been an excellent season. So much content. I barely even dipped my toes into the league mechanic. I mean, I've done quite a bit, but I'm not in the thousands like everybody else is, because, you know, I haven't really had a build that is tuned well enough for that league. Oh, I don't have my curse. That's what I could put instead of Berserk. Actually, I think I have a ring with vulnerability on it. Oh, that was a red beast. Let's go back and finish. We gotta get the red beast. Yeah, vulnerability would be applying a lot of damage on these boys. Now, obviously, you can force this build to be good by buying a mirror item axe if you really wanted to. If you love this kind of playstyle. See, that was a elemental damage death at 85 resistances. 85 resistances is now nothing in this game. Nothing. It means nothing to have 85 all res. And I kind of hate it, to be honest with you. I kind of hate it. I never use the old variation of spell dodge. I was always a left side of the tree, bottom left of the tree, Marauder, Slayer player. I never really delved into any Assassin or Raider until recently. And back in the day, people were doing spell dodge and attack dodge, and GGG thought it was too powerful because it definitely was. So they switched out the dodge for spell suppress. And I feel it was probably with the change to, I forget the name of when they changed all the mob types. I already forgot what that's called. It's been so far in the background and they had all the backlash. It was probably that change that made the elemental damage in this game so extreme. But it is just brutally extreme. See a couple hits and I was like, dunzo. Completely dunzo. I have at least, 40 recoup, I think. 30 recoup. I should be recouping a pretty good amount as well. Cyclone is basically useless in comparison. The Cyclone is like my travel through enemies. I could just do Leap Slam instead, but Cyclone also gives me a lot of rage generation. You may not think it's a lot because, the tick rate is so slow, but there's little microseconds if you're doing something like Leap Slam to generate your rage that you miss. And with Cyclone, you don't miss those microseconds. So if it's half a second per rage, you're gonna get 2 rage a second guaranteed. But if you're using something like Smite or Cyclone, you're gonna miss out on that half a second unless you perfectly set up your attack speed to utilize that. But as you saw, I died So with this build, I wanted it to be a build where you can run regular T16 maps and not die. And because I run regular T16 maps and I die, the build is a utter failure. Complete failure. And I bought this axe for nothing. For nothing. Alright, let me see if I got a ring. Now that I don't need Berserk, I'm pretty sure I got a ring with vulnerability on it. Right there. Curse enemy with vulnerability has cold resistance instead. That's fine, because I'm not using the helmet. What the hell did I just see? It's almost good. Close. I really ought to build a build that can do these, because I have a lot. They're just building them up. I'm gonna do, should I do a boss? Yeah, I'm gonna do a boss. Stuff. Oh, Shaper would be a pretty good boss to try. Because you'll see, I'm gonna do this guy. Shaper's going to kill me. And it won't be Shaper that kills me. It'll be some little minions before Shaper that kill me. Because, this guy's kind of weak. Kind of weak. And that's just because I'm playing the Berserker wrong as well. I mean, you're not supposed to go tanky with the Berserker. You're not supposed to go tanky at all. I have like 12 Red Bull cans on my desk. Going full goblin mode here. Here you go. The new channel. Bastard. I got my little icons. I stole the red B from my iPhone. I think it's supposed to represent blood type B. But I just took it. It's mine now. I am now red B for Bastard. I might have to change my background icons from that disgusting pink, which I was using deliberately because it's just the worst color ever. 255, 155, 188. That's the color number. It's gross. It's so gross. I might switch it to match my red. See, if I was doing the other build with the other gloves, I'd have been dead from walking in that damage over time pool. Well, that was rude. He dodged my Rage Vortex. Let's pump it up a bit. Don't you know, pump it up. You gotta pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You gotta pump it up. It's not the worst damage of any build I've had, but it's not great. I think we can agree, as you're watching, it's not great. And this axe isn't even cheap. It was like 8 divine. I don't know if people are using this axe, but it's not great. It's nice with anomalous support, though, because that's all you need. I mean, my Impale chance with Rage Vortex is 113%, and I got no Impale on my tree. I mean, I just tanked a beam, so it's somewhat tanky, but running maps, I will die. I will just die and die and die. I'm immune to bleed. I'm immune to, well, mostly immune to poison. I'm immune to ignite. I could still be shocked and No, I can't be chilled. I'm immune to chill and freeze. I can be shocked a little bit. So, I mean, maybe it's shocked. And I got sapped ground to try to help me. You know, they do less damage if I've sap ground them. But yeah, I kind of hate when I'm disappointed in one of my builds, which is what this is, a disappointment. And I could be very undisappointed in a build that's significantly weaker than this, but my expectations for this were way higher than what's being delivered to me. So I'm just like super downtrodden over this build. I gotta sell all the gear and start over. But first I gotta do a lot of farming. I'll probably just do some rapid farming all day today. And get some of that lower currency back. Or I'll just actually buy lower currency. I'll farm up some divines and buy lower currency. Which is sad. Well, that's what happens when you turn your loot filter up. You turn your loot filter up and you continually make a lot of different builds and use all that lower currency. You will run out quick, especially if you're wasteful like me. I don't use POB enough, and I like to experiment live in the game, which does cost a lot of resources. Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't go right here. He's moving with his rage storm, and it's just not a fun time, and I don't know what to do about it. Like, I can't teleport around, and he really wants to go to the stairs, which he decided that's where he was going. I made it though without dying. I should have died like 5 times. That took so long. All my rage be gone. Don't you know, pump it up. Gotta pump it up. Yeah, that song stuck in my head all day. It's one of the funniest videos ever. It's a dude with a flat tire and they just playing don't you know, pump it up. I have no movement skills. I might have not even had my auras on. I don't remember. And that's why I don't like dying. I mean, I don't even care about death. Death means nothing to me. I don't mind walking through a map again. I don't mind losing experience because I'm already at 96 and I'm never going to get higher because fuck that noise. I don't mind death at all, except for the fact I gotta recast my auras. That's it. If I didn't have to recast my auras, man, every build I made would be a glass cannon build with a portal on death set up. But I gotta recast my auras. Oh, I just tanked all of that. Talking about how it ain't tanky, and I just accidentally tanked something really good. Oh, this build is terrible for this fight, too. At least this variation. The other variation might be better. Really teleported into my Rage Vortex. That's nice. Oh, this is painful. This build is painfully bad. I hate it so much. I don't think I've ever made a build that I've disliked as much as this build. Everything about it I hate. Aside from the fact that I get to use Cyclone and Rage Vortex. But it's ruining Cyclone and Rage Vortex. Rage Vortex is one of my favorite skills, as is Cyclone. And this build I made is souring my taste for it. This is like the CG version of Berserk. That's what I'm playing right now, the CG version of Berserk. No one likes the CG version of Berserk. And here I am, taking one of the greatest skills in the game. He's not even, like, where the fuck are you, dude? Taking one of the best skills and just ruining it with this garbage that I've created. And I will uncreate immediately after this. So you don't even need to worry about giving me suggestions to make it better, because it is gone after this video. It is, I might just delete the character in rage. Delete the character in rage. As you see, I am just getting slaughtered. There's nothing I can do with this build. I mean, well, obviously I could put on a movement skill. Let's see. Can I? No. I really can't. I mean, I can get rid of Molten Shell, but I think Molten Shell saved my ass a lot. I don't have the slots. I don't have the slots. So, I'm not gonna torture the viewers by watching me go in there over and over and over and die and die and die, because I fucking hate this build. How did I create something so bad? I mean, I'm baffled. I'm baffled. It's not like my gear is bad. This axe is like 8 divines. Oh, I don't have Awakened PoE trade because I just woke up. This axe is like 8 divines. 6 divine. I think I paid 8 for it. Whatevs. This bad boy has vulnerability on hit. And I guess it doesn't have life, so it's not that great. But, you know, it's not the worst ring in the world. It's not the worst ring in the world, right? I don't know where I got it. I think I actually found it. And then this guy's not that bad either. The physical damage leached as mana is nice to have. Recoup is nice. Then I got physical damage, leeches life down here. So, you know, the gear's not that bad. Pretty decent gear across the board. I rolled some of these axes, but these were the best rolls I can get. They're not that great either. And for some reason, no one's rolling these rage axes, so I can't buy a better rage axe on the market. If we go to the market and we try to get the rage going, let's clear out all this other stuff. Any, search it, physical deeps. So I mean, it's not that much better than anything I have. I mean, the base damage, attacks, it's got more attacks, but this one's got 1.4. So it's just a little bit better than what I managed to create on my own. And it's 4 divine, so I just bought these for like 50 chaos a pop or something like that, and then I just crafted them myself. But if you can get one of these that's higher level, then maybe. And I also don't think Berserk is the right class, because this is the only thing I'm doing to get me rage, and I'm only getting 10 more rage by playing Berserk. Obviously, I'm doing this right here, which is increasing the damage by quite a bit. But I can go any other class, and Slayer is obviously the right choice for this type of a playstyle because of the overleach, and I can do the Slayer with the gloves. So the Berserk is just a bad choice, but I haven't leveled up a Duelist. I've only leveled up a Marauder. So I tried it on a Marauder, and I've had a rough couple of hours building this because I hate it. I hate it. And that'll be it. Changed my name to Bastard because I'm based and a bastard and retarded. I am all three: a bastard who is retarded, who's also very, very based. That is all with this video. Hopefully my next build is better, or else I might just